Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, the #1 YouTube channel for you to level up your communication skills. Learn the art of public speaking, social skills, and personal branding to take your message to the world. For today's episode, we are going to be entering the world of public speaking, and I'm going to be delivering to you the holy grail of speech anxiety. I remember a few years ago when I was an awful public speaker and I struggled with speech anxiety. I did what any other rational person would do. I went searching for answers. And I kid you not, I was reading blog after blog after blog, and each time I got done reading it, I left disappointed. Why? It's as though each of these blogs had a lot of motivational stuff, had a lot of fluff, but very little practical tips. So I said to myself, Armani, when you start figuring out public speaking and you begin overcoming your speech anxiety, you are going to create a tell-all video regarding this phenomenon, and you're going to share it. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be sharing with you my journey regarding speech anxiety, and I'm going to be giving you the blueprint from A to Z on how to handle speech anxiety. I'm going to explain to you what it really is, what causes speech anxiety, what you shouldn't do, and what you should do leading up to your speech all the way up until your name gets called on speech day. If you're excited, if you're ready to go, make sure you drop a like so other people that are searching for the answers can also stumble along this video as well. What is speech anxiety? Speech anxiety is basically when you have a lot of negative thoughts leading up to your speech of you failing. You're basically pre-planning a lot of your failures. And a lot of these thoughts, it could be about you choking your speech, forgetting a point midway in, getting booed by the audience. Whatever the case is, it's typically as though the narrative is not in your favor. Why do people have speech anxiety in the first place? There's many reasons for speech anxiety out there, a lot of different reasons, but two of the most common reasons I've seen in my lifetime. Number one is because, and this is going to seem very counterintuitive, by the way, it's not because of failing, it's more so the fear of being judged for failing. Let me say that again. The main reason for speech anxiety isn't the fear of failing, it's the fear of being judged for failing. The thing with public speaking is that it's a very out there task. You're basically talking in front of a lot of people. So part of you thinks, if I don't nail it, if I don't knock it out of the park, what's going to happen is a lot of these people, they're going to negatively judge me, and they're going to be thinking about my failures for a very, very long time. This is going to embarrass me. You genuinely think that these people are going to be thinking about you for a few days, few weeks, months, who knows? Let me just tell you, that's ridiculous. Other people are too busy thinking about themselves, not thinking about you. But that is the main reason for speech anxiety. Another reason, which is very common, is because speech anxiety, public speaking, is a very, very new task for many of us. And whenever you're trying out something new or something a little bit out of your comfort zone, there's always natural nerves that are involved. If you think about it, there's not too many situations in your day-to-day where you have a bunch of eyeballs looking at you, breaking down each and every single one of your moves. So two of the most common reasons for speech anxiety is the fear of being judged for failing and because you're doing a very new task. Now here's the thing with speech anxiety. It's not just mental. It's not just emotional. It's also physical as well. Do not be surprised if leading up to your speech, you feel very lethargic. Your body feels very heavy. Your body feels very warm. You feel dehydrated at times. You just feel very lazy to do even the smallest of tasks. You feel very unmotivated. For a lot of my very nerdy subscribers, you guys may be wondering the scientific reason behind why speech anxiety physically drains you. It's because right now, your brain is associating public speaking with something negative. And that negativity is causing your brain stress. Stress is causing your brain to release cortisol, and cortisol is pushing excess blood into your muscles, which is causing the fatigue. Wait a minute, Armani. So you're saying speech anxiety is going to mentally drain me, emotionally drain me, and physically drain me? Unfortunately, yes. I remember a few years ago, it was Jerry Seinfeld who said, "Did you guys know the fear of public speaking is worse than the fear of death?" Worse. That means if you go to a funeral, the person that's giving the eulogy is worse off than the dude in the casket. I mean, this seems very ridiculous to us, but it's true in many ways. And it's a very, very bizarre thing to even consider. But yeah, I mean, if you have speech anxiety, you are going to be faced with a fork in the road. You can suppress the speech anxiety, which is what most people do, or you can take the road less taken and learn to coexist with it, which is what I'm going to be teaching you later in this video. Why do most people suppress speech anxiety? They suppress it because it's the easy thing to do. I mean, it's very easy to bury your emotions with alcohol, with weed, with TV, partying, etc. It's very, very easy to do that. And a lot of times people suppress their emotions because they're unaware of how detrimental it really is. They're completely unaware. One of the worst things you can do for yourself when you have speech anxiety is to say, come on, get over it. It's only an 8 to 10 minute speech. And you try burying your speech anxiety. You tell yourself, hey, stop feeling speech anxiety. What's wrong with you? That's a very bad thing to do because the more you tell yourself not to think something, you know what happens? The more you think it. Here's a real life simulation right now. Don't think about giraffes. Don't think about it. Did you hear me? I said don't think about giraffes. What's going on? You're thinking about giraffes, aren't you? And every single time you try to suppress your emotions, it's basically going to the gym, working out, and coming back 10 times stronger. You don't want to do that. Suppressing seems very good in the short term, but in the long term, it's very, very detrimental for your progress. What you want to do is you want to learn to coexist with the nerves. When you learn to coexist with the nerves, you feel the emotions, you feel the sensations, you realize it's not the boogeyman, you're still able to produce, and eventually what happens is you start reconditioning a positive perception towards the nerves. Let me ask you a question. 2 scenarios. One scenario, you're about to be called on stage in front of 500 people to give a speech. What's your body going through? Your palms are sweating, your heart is beating really fast, and your spine is tingling. Another scenario, the other scenario is you are on a roller coaster. What's happening now? Your palm is sweating, your heart is beating really fast, and you're getting the same tingles down your spine. Both scenarios, same physical sensations. This scenario terrifies you. This scenario excites you. 2 completely different perceptions. When you suppress emotions, you're conditioning a negative perception towards it. When you learn to coexist with the emotions, you start reconditioning a positive perception towards it. But Armani, I mean, all these dark sensations, how do you expect me to coexist with it leading up to my speech? You coexist with these emotions by 2 ways. These are my most popular ways. You can learn to play around with your ways as well. But one of the ways is through journaling. Journaling is huge because a lot of your anxiety, it's caused from the unknown. You ever had that moment when you feel very anxious and you have zero clue why you feel anxious? That's because when you have a level of unknown, your brain defaults to the negative. Journaling is huge because it forces you to consciously put words to those unknown, ambiguous emotions. When you feel a lot of speech anxiety leading up to your speech, force yourself to journal. You could do it on Microsoft Word, you could physically write it down, you could write out your thoughts on Twitter, whatever the case is. But force yourself to put words to your emotions. Your nerves will melt, and this is a brilliant way to coexist with your emotions. Another way to coexist with your emotions is to get active. Get your ass up, get your ass moving. Go to the gym, do some yoga, play some sports, whatever the case is. And as you feel those nerves and you force yourself to get active, you start realizing, these are just physical sensations, nothing more. And the more that you're able to coexist with these nerves leading up to the speech, you are going to feel much, much better. So thus far, I told you how to coexist with the nerves leading up to the speech. What about on speech day? This is when your nerves are often the worst, right? It's the most amped up. And at this point, you don't have a journal with you. You don't have the weights right next to you. You're about to get called on stage any second. What do? Well, as you're getting called on stage and your nerves are firing off, I want you to remember 3 words: body, breath, smile. Once again, body, breath, smile. Body, breath, smile. Is it imprinted in your mind yet? These are the 3 things you're going to be doing on speech day as you are getting called on stage. Body, this represents your posture. Most of your speech anxiety is caused by very, very poor posture. Because as you're feeling the nerves, you are going to go into defense mode. You're going to be slouching, you're going to be covering your torso a lot, touching your neck. And when you have poor posture, your lungs become 30% less effective. Less effective lungs mean ineffective breathing. Ineffective breathing leads to racing thoughts. You don't want that. Fix your damn posture. Stand up straight, chest out, arms to the side. Picture as though you are the CEO of a galaxy. Picture as though you're about to pick up a $7 trillion check. You feel that? That's confidence. That's how I want you walking as you are going on stage. So the first part is body. Second part is breath. So as you're walking on stage and you have a good posture, I want you to completely silence your breath. You silence your breath by slowing it down. And the slower your breath is, you know what happens? You start engaging your diaphragm. The breathing where you engage your diaphragm, it disengages your fight or flight hormones, your cells, okay? Because imagine back in the days if our ancient ancestor is running away from a saber-toothed tiger. They don't have the time to breathe in a way where they're getting their diaphragm engaged. So the fact that you are silencing your breath is basically telling your brain, listen, I'm not in danger, okay? So if you can hear the breath, you are doing it wrong. Silence it. Silence it. That's the second part, breath. The third part is smile. So you're walking on stage, you have a good posture, your breath is silent. Now I want you to have a smile. A smile is huge because it releases endorphins in your brain. And once you get on stage, you look much more composed than the person that's like, oh my God. Okay? A smile helps you look much more calm and poised. And luckily, humans have a thing called mirror neurons. So as you're releasing endorphins, feel-good chemicals in your brain, you're releasing endorphins in other people's brain as well. So you feel good and other people feel good as well. You're about to kill it, okay? So I give you a lot of information. Let's do a little recap. You feel speech anxiety mainly because of the fear of being judged for failing and because it's an innovative task for you. As you feel the speech anxiety, you're going to be led with a lot of physical sensations. I do not want you to suppress those sensations. Rather, I want you to learn to coexist with it leading up to your speech. You learn to coexist with it by 1, journaling, and 2, getting active. And then during the day of your speech, what's going to happen is once you're getting called on stage, you're going to feel a lot of nerves. What you want to do is you want to get your posture right, you want to silence your breath, and you want to smile as you are on stage. Do all this, and I guarantee you, you will learn that speech anxiety, it was an illusion all along. Speech anxiety, fam, is actually speech excitement. You don't want to feel like the same exact person now as you are when you're speaking in front of 10 people, 50 people, 500 plus people. You want some nerves inside you. And these nerves are serving as your internal Red Bull. This is energy. This is energy that is going to help you color your speech. And it's going to give you the power to give a show that most people would only dream of giving. So learn to recondition your perception from speech anxiety to speech excitement. Watch this video again and again and again until all the core concepts start to stick. These are the insights that I drop routinely on my free daily newsletter. And if you want tips like this, exclusive tips like this that have practical value and have real world application to it, then you definitely want to join the Level Up Tribe. Every day at 7 p.m., I drop innovative insights into the world of public speaking, social skills, and personal branding so you can communicate like a rock star. Especially with our world being more interconnected than ever, you want to be able to sharpen your communication muscle. Separate yourself from the herd. How are you going to do this? You're going to go over to the description box, hit that link, and hit subscribe today. Thank you, my friend, for joining the ArmaniTalks YouTube episode, and I'll catch you next time.